Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is day 6 in COP, especially in Indonesia Pavilion. How are we today? Good. Are we ready to rock and roll? Okay, so we've talked in the past 9 days, we've talked about peatland, we've talked about mangroves, we've talked about social forestry. Today we will talk about different aspects, that's managing forest fires. So this is in relation to the capacity of Indonesia forest fire brigades. So forest fires indeed have caught global attention as an environmental and economic issue. It contributed to biodiversity loss, carbon emissions, and it has a direct negative impact on humans' health. And many researchers stated 99% of forest fires are caused by human activities. The Global Fire Management Hub, established by the FAO, has established 5 key pillars that are designed to strengthen countries' ability in integrating its fire management system. And we are going to discuss this morning one of the key pillars. It is the capacity building. And it is built and integrated within the Manggala Agni. It's the name for Indonesian Forest Fire Brigade since 2002. So today, our speakers will explore and share knowledge and best experiences of Indonesians Manggala Agni in prevention and suppression. And hopefully together we could all develop a network for a better forest and land fire management. Okay, so I would like to, should I call all the speakers or you can manage, Pak Chris? Okay, so I'll call our moderator and I will introduce him briefly. He is the Director of Public Relations and International Cooperation, Ministry of Forestry, Indonesia. He's also a former coordinator in Indonesia Pavilion. Since he set the rule, so we, this morning, have a diverse perspectives, various speakers from different backgrounds to talk about how strengthening capacity building of Manggala Agni to reduce forest fires. Please welcome Bapak Krisdianto.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and also good afternoon and good evening, because it's online at the moment. And thank you very much for coming in this Indonesian pavilion, distinguished guests, speakers, colleagues, and we are now having the session in the Indonesian pavilion, the COP30 UNFCCC with the title "Strengthening Capacity Building of Manggala Agni." What is Manggala Agni? We will find out later. Manggala Agni to reduce forest fire and greenhouse gas emission in Indonesia. And before we invite all the speakers, we want to welcome Dr. Pak Thomas Nifinluri, the Director from the Forest Fire Control from the Ministry of Forestry. Pak Thomas, time is yours. Please give applause to him, please. It's still morning. Come on, cheer up.
Check. Very good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure and honor for me to welcome you all to the talk show of strengthening capacity building of Manggala Agni to reduce forest fire and greenhouse gas emissions in Indonesia. For those who are not familiar with Manggala Agni is Sanskrit language, meaning the fire commander. Manggala Agni is Indonesia Forest Fire Brigade. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank to all speakers, Dr. Lara Steele from FAO, who will join us today from Rome by Zoom. Dr. Song Min Kyung from National Institute of Forest Science, Republic of Korea. Mr. Hideyuki Kubo from JICA, Japan. and my colleagues, Dr. Isar Albar from Indonesia Ministry of Forestry, for their meaningful participation today, and will share their thoughts, findings, and lessons learned concerning the importance of human resource development in integrated fire management. Our thanks also goes to Dr. Krisyanto, my colleague, the Director of International Cooperation, Indonesian Ministry of Forestry, that will be our moderator for today. Thank you, Pak Chris. And of course to Indonesian Pavilion Secretariat team and Miss Annie, my team from Jakarta, for the excellent work in organizing this event today. I would like also to acknowledge my colleagues, Dr. Tito, the Director of Mangrove Management from the Ministry of Forestry. Thank you for your participation, sir. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about climate change, forest and land fire, wildfire, bushfire become a global threat that affecting our forests. The fire contribute to deforestation, land degradation, biodiversity loss, food and livelihood insecurity, and reducing quality of life. Based on the IPCC report, scientists remind us that the global rise in temperature will influence the probability of extreme fires. And based on the UNEP report in 2022, climate change and land use change are projected to make wildfires more frequent and intense, with a global increase of extreme fires up to 50% by the end of this century. As global temperatures rise, it's expected that size, frequency, and severity of wildfires to increase in the years ahead. It means that the fire will be more challenging to be addressed. In this situation, it is difficult for one country to resolve this problem without support and collaboration from partners. Distinguished participants, in recent decades, many countries are committed to combat forest and land fire with multiple approaches and efforts. And this can be shown recently during the opening thematic sessions and Belém Climate Summit November the 6th, 2025. Excellencies President Lula just launched and declared call to action on integrated fire management and wildfire resilience that had been endorsed by 62 countries by today, including Indonesia, Republic of Korea, and also Japan. And 2 years back, during the 18th International Wildland Fire Conference in 2023, Global Fire Management Hub, or we call it Fire Hub, has been launched, organized by FAO. The Global Fire Hub aims to enhance collaboration across region and global in implementing integrated fire management that cover 5 pillars, notably knowledge and data sharing, capacity building, fire risk reduction, wildfire resilient communities, and policy support. The 5 pillars are designed to strengthen countries' ability to implement we call as the 5 R's: review and analysis, risk reduction, readiness, response to fires, and recovery, as well as reducing the negative impacts of wildfire on people, landscape, and the global climate. How about Indonesia, and what sort of policy and action had been done and planned for the future challenge in reducing greenhouse gases emission from forest and land sector? And what kind of mitigation strategy will be applied in anticipating the massive fire? Distinguished guests, Indonesia, home for almost 120 million hectares of forest, and we have a tremendous experience in combating forest and land fire since 1984, when the big fire impacted almost 3 million hectares of forest at a time. However, during the last decades, in 2015, since paradigm shifting from suppressions to prevention approach, the forest and fire in Indonesia have been decreased significantly from 30% to 93% within period 2015 up to 2023. 25 by now, by using baseline data 2015, which burn area calculation reached almost 26 million hectares of forest and land. Indonesia have learned that the achievement in handling the severe forest and land fire depend on three key pillars. First, develop a collaboration among parties at national, regional, and international level. Secondly, maintaining a well coordination across sector and region. And lastly, encouraging a meaningful participation of communities. Indonesia has taken action based on the many years experiences, but we also realize that improvement cannot be achieved without support from partners countries and global partners in addressing forest fire issues. Therefore, today, we have several partners that will present their role and contribution to integrated fire management in Indonesia as well as at global scales. Colleges, distinguished participants, this talk show will discuss capacity building as one of the key pillars of the Global Fire Hub. In line with that, Indonesia has established its forest fire brigade known as Manggala Agni since 2002, aiming to contributing in reducing greenhouse gas emissions such fire and have been mandated by national determined contribution and Indonesia voluntary 2030. This talk show aim among others to share the role of Manggala Agni, lesson learned and best practices on capacity building program in strengthening forest and land fire mitigations, and how achieve the target of reducing greenhouse gas emissions as has been mandated in NDC and Indonesia voluntary 2030. One of the near future challenges that Indonesia should always be prepared that based on climate outlook by the Agency for Climate and Weather of Indonesia, BMKG, 2027 is considered as El Nino year after 2023. It means that all resources in mitigating forest and land fire in 2026 should be well prepared and managed accordingly, including the preparedness of forest firefighters, forest fire brigade of Manggala Agni, and all relevant parties in the country. In order to maintain the professionalism and competence of forest fire brigade, we are remaining open to strengthen cooperation among partners countries and international partners through developing a meaningful program in the country or overseas. We hope the achievement and lesson learned we gain from integrated fire management could provide a broader contribution not only in the region but also in global. Colleagues and distinguished participants, in closing, again, I would like to thank and appreciate for all participants in this event and for all the support giving to Indonesia. With that, I officially declare this talk show open, and I wish you all an enjoyable discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Thomas. Thank you, Pak Director Thomas. Please give applause to him. And as Pak Thomas mentioned, he is the director for the Forest Fire Control. As you can see, he is wearing the red batik with the tiger on it. So it's represent the braveness of the how to handle the forest fire in the field. And thank you for coming, and everyone that Indonesia has demonstrated strong and consistent leadership in advancing integrated forest fire management. We don't want to have a forest fire happen every year, but it's very devastating. Forest fire is 2015 and 2019 in Indonesia, and Indonesia is now involved in the Global Fire Management Hub established by FAO. Then have the 5 pillars. This is the most important thing. The 5 pillars is the knowledge and data sharing, capacity development, and wildfire resilient communities, policy development and implementation, and reduction, risk reduction, and early warning. And one of the pillar is what we call it capacity building or capacity development. So today we want to learn about what is the capacity building has been done in Indonesia. And I invite the first speaker, Dr. Israr Albar. He is the Deputy Director of Forest Fire Management, the Ministry of Forestry. Please come sit and The title of his presentation is The Capacity Building to Strengthen Manggala Agni in Reducing Greenhouse Gas Emission from Forest Fire. And then we also invite Ms. Song Min Kyung, and she is the research official from the National Institute of Forest Science, Republic of Korea. She will talk about the KFS cooperation project in forest and land fire management to contribute climate change mitigation and potential future cooperation. And we have Dr. Hideyuki Kubo. Please come forward. He is the Chief Advisor of Community Movement Program on Forest Prevention in Indonesia and JICA. And his title of presentation will be JICA's Program for Supporting Forest Fire Management in Indonesia and Potential Future Cooperation. And the last but not least, we have Dr. Lara Steele. She is having online with us. She is a forestry officer for Integrated Fire Management, Forestry Division from FAO. She will talk about FAO's strategy to address forest fire issue in developing countries. Now, the first, I would like to invite Dr. Israr to give presentation, about 10 minutes, Pak.
Thank you, Pak Chris. Good morning, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the audience here. Thank you for attending these important discussions. Today, I would like to share about the strengthening capacity building of Manggala Agni fire brigades to reduce forest fire and greenhouse gas emissions in Indonesia. Next, please. Perhaps we look at the current conditions in the world about the forest fire. This is the view of the forest fire in 2025. We can see here that Indonesia also noted about 343,000 hectares that we calculated until this September. And then you can see here, this is the Brazil. I think it's about 20 million hectares burned this year. And then several countries also having the same fire occurrences this year. And we know this based on the UNEP report that with this climate change and also the land use change, so there will be the extreme fire will be more, at least until 50% more until the end of the century. Next, please. And this is about the emissions, the greenhouse gas emission from the wildfire. You can see here for Indonesia in 2019 and then 2023 and then 2015, of course. There's a big fire in Indonesia, and then of course there's also the greenhouse gas emissions also become highest at the time. And then I think Japan and also South Korea just small emissions based on this data. Next, please. If we look at the source of emission, we can refer to the first boom for Indonesia in 2015. So at least 47% is come from the land use change and including the pit fire. And then the second BUR also mentioned about 44% also come from the LUCF and pit fire. And then the third BUR also mentioned 50% the source of emissions come from the ULCF and pit fire. And fortunately, the first BTR that we submitted in 2024, it's decreasing for the LUCF as well as pit fire. It's less than 25%. So we believe that the reducing the hotspot, the active fire, and then the fire occurrences as well as the burn area is the key to reduce the emission, also to achieve the volume net sinks target. Next, please. Next, please. You can look here. For example, this is the satellite data in 2015. Let's say this is in Sumatra and Kalimantan. We can see here clearly about the active fire in Kalimantan in September 2015, and also in South Sumatra, there's bulk of the hotspot of the active fire. In 2019, we can see clearly here, this is the yellow one is the big thick smoke in Jambi, and we can also have the record from the photo from Jambi itself, the yellow thick one from the ground. And then this year, we also having another fire episode. This is in Riau, in Rokan Hulu, where the smoke, the thick smoke, and also the transboundary has pollution for a while. It's across the Malacca Straits. Next, please. This is the active fire. If we check from the 2015 until this year, you can see here. So this active fire mainly occur in Sumatra and Kalimantan. These two main islands, they also have the peatland fire, the peatland area there. So in 2015, 19, and 23, there's the fire seasons as well as also the El Nino years. Perhaps in the next 2 years, in 2027, we will have another El Nino years. So this is also in line with the wildfire, where the 2015, 19, and 23 is the biggest fire, and also in burn area. Next, please. This is the burn area 2 years ago in 2023. This is not the active fire or the hotspot, but this is the burn area that we delineate every month. So this is the accumulations of the burn area using the Lancet and also Sentinel. And then you can see here in Sumatra, there's South Sumatra, and then Kalimantan, West Central and South Kalimantan, and East Java. We also noted here West and East Nusa Tenggara. Also, there's a lot of fire as well as the burn area. And in South Papua, there's always a little bit fire there, and we recorded also the burn area. Next, please. This is the burn area in Indonesia from 2000 to this year. You can see here in 2002 that we just established our Manggala Agni fire brigades, and then in 2006 we have a big fire, 3.8 million, mainly in Sumatra and Kalimantan, and then 2015, 2.6 million hectares burned. The same places, Kalimantan and Sumatra, and then 2019 we lost 1.6 million, and then 2023 we lost 1.1 million hectares forest and land. So this is the bigger picture in Indonesia, how the big fire is become the challenging. Next, please. If we look the forest fire trend, at least for the last 8 years, we can see clearly here that the forest fire in Indonesia will start, let's say, in June or July. So this is based on our burn area that we calculate every month. In 2019, this is the big fire in Indonesia, and then 2023, so we can see there's a peak of the graph. So every June and July, and then in November, they will be decreasing the forest fire as well as the burn area. Next, please. This is the latest update of the burn area in Indonesia in 2025 as of 31st October 25. So we lost about 343,000 hectares this year, and we hope it's less than, let's say, 400,000 hectares. And the main location still Sumatra, Kalimantan, East and West Nusa Tenggara. Next, please. So this is the Manggala Agni that we have now, the fire brigades. We have about 2,500 something, and we have 34 local fire stations across Indonesia, mainly in Sumatra and Kalimantan. And then each local fire station, they have the equipments, they have resources. At least we have like 60 people there, and we have the vehicles, the tools, equipments, a pump, and so on. So this is our main resources for fighting the forest fire in Indonesia. Next, please. This is, for example, in South Sumatra, we call it local fire station in Ogan Komering Hulu. It's about 1.5 to 2 hectares, and it's equipped with the office, and then we have the training class, we have the warehouse storage, a dormitory, and so on. So we have 34 local fire stations like this in Indonesia. Next, please. Next, please. This is the equipments that we have. Yes, we have like a four-wheel vehicles. We have two-wheel vehicles. We have the pump, the big pump, and also the mini striker, the light pumps, and we have the jet shooter. We have the we call it the Sambunesia. This is specially the pump for the pitland fire. And then, of course, we have also the protections for our firefighter. Next, please. Besides the Manggala Agni itself, we also have the Manggala Special Force. We call it the Manggala Agni Tactical Response Brigades that we just established since 2006. And then now we have about 628 special force for the Manggala Agni. You can say this is like the Marine or the special force for the army. So we also have the similars like what they have in army or police. We call it the Manggala Agni Tactical Response Brigades. Next, please. This is, for example, how our fire brigades, Manggala Agni fire brigades, are fighting the fire in Sumatra. This is at least for the last 3 months. For the last 3 months, because we just get the peak fire last July until October, I think, and this November it's become a decrease. Next, please. This is in Kalimantan, the same firefighter. I mean, we have about 13 local fire stations in Kalimantan where they have to check every day with the hotspot, the active fire, and if there's a fire occurs, they have to go to the field to do the ground check and early suppressions. Next, please. For forest and land fire management program or policy, of course, we have 3 things, 3 pillars. The first one is prevention, where we have the regulation and in place, and we have the strengthening coordinations. We have the early warning and early detection. There is another pillar in Fire Hub. We have the integrated fire prevention patrol, campaign and capacity building is a must, and then land preparation without burning practices, or we call it the PLTB. We have fire care community, more than 10,000 fire care community now, and then weather modification. This is aimed to pit rewetting, and of course capacity building. The second one is the suppression. We do the ground suppression, we do the joint suppression and air operation with water bombing and also surveillance. And the last one, we have the post-fire with the law enforcement, burn estimations, burn area estimation, burn area inventory, and so on. Next, please. So this is the fire hub pillars that already mentioned by director. The first one is knowledge and data sharing, capacity building, fire resilient communities, fire risk reduction and early warning, and the last one is the IFM, integrated fire management policy development and support. So we'll talk about today only about the capacity building. Next, please. We have the ITTO project in 2021, 2022 with the title is the capacity building on forest and land fire management in Indonesia. So the location is 3 provinces, South Sumatra, Central and South Kalimantan. And the result is we have about the thematic training where 1,300 people already involved in this thematic training. You can see the list of the training here. The training of zero burning practices, training of community economic empowerment, technical training for occupational health and safety, basic technical training on integrated fire management, burn area calculation, and so on. Next, please. Another project is the JICA project. That's, we will talk about this deeply by Pak Kubo later on. The title is Project for Community Movement Program on Forest and Land Fire Prevention, where the overall goal is new model district where hotspot and burn area are decreased, is established in the target and other provinces. So this location, 3 provinces. The first one is Riau, West Kalimantan, and Central Kalimantan. We already have a lot of training here. Yes. This is about 776 persons already involved. Next, please. And this is the KFS project with the Korea Forest Service. Now it's still going on, where we build the land and forest fire management center there. So there are a training center and then a command center also there. And then we hope this local fire station as the center of excellence for forest fire management. So this is in South Sumatra. Next, please. Another one is the GCF Green Climate Fund with RED and Indonesian Environment Fund. We also do a lot of training in this with this scheme. Almost all provinces with all varied thematic training. So at least 1,800 our Manggala Agni and also local community, forestry divisions, and also conservation units also involved in this training. Next, please. The capacity building, so this is the resum of this project. The JICA about 776, the Korea 156, Green Climate Fund 446, and the ITTO project, this is the most one, 1,307. So that's our capacity building with all the projects that we have in Indonesia. Next, please. The competitive standard to enhance the capacity of our fire brigades. We also developed the competency standard on forest and land fire management with regulation by Ministry of Manpower. We have at least 46 competency units from fire prevention to post-fire activities. Next, please. With 46 competency unit, so we have 7 levels. Level 1 is Fire Crew 1, Level 2 Fire Crew 2, Level 3 is Fire Crew 3 until the level 7. So this 46 competency unit, we divided into this 7 level. Next, please. And then, of course, we have the curriculum and syllabus on the training, where the curriculum and syllabus are designed so that learning materials are standardized and can achieve a learning objective. This curriculum and syllabus, we also develop with cooperation with a Forestry Education and Training Center. Next, please. I think this is my last slide. So this is the way forward. The burn area 2016 2025 and our target from 26 to 30. We hope this provided capacity building to Manggala Agni fire brigades along with early suppression will decrease not only the active fire, the fire occurrences, but also burn area and greenhouse gas emission from forest fire and support the volumetric target by 2030. So the next 5 years is our target. At least we can decrease our fire occurrences, the burn area at least 10%. So that's our target. I think that's my presentation, my sharing. Next, I think, yes, this is my last slide. Thank you for your attentions. I return back to the moderator. Thank you, Pak.
Thank you. Please give applause to Pak Dr. Israr. Thank you, Pak Israr. He mentioned about 2,585 Manggala Agni. Manggala Agni is our national fire brigade, ya, Pak. And the most important thing is how the capacity building is playing the significant role in the how to anticipate how they tackle the forest fire, ya, Pak. So we want to have the second speaker, Dr. Lara Steele. Are you still online?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
Thank
now
you.
your turn. It's about 10 to 12 minutes, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, moderator, and thank you for having me today. Good morning to everyone. So as it was already announced, my name is Lara Steil. I'm a fire management officer at FAO. And today I will provide a short overview of the Fire Hub and how our global and what we are doing with our global work on integrated fire management and how this work can support countries like Indonesia in strengthening institutions such as Manggala Agni with the goal of reducing wildfire impact and the greenhouse gas emissions. The next slide, please. So let's begin to talk about integrated fire management and governance. So in FAO and with our partners under the Fire Hub, we are promoting a paradigm shift in how fire management is approached. It's no longer just about fighting fires. It's about integrating fire culture, fire ecology, and governance to create resilient systems. And it's important to point out that a strong governance is essential to drive this paradigm shift from a suppression focus to more prevention focus, ensuring lasting impact. Next slide, please. So this approach that we call integrated fire management, it's a holistic approach considering physical, biological, ecological, social, and technical factors. The integrated fire management is built on 5 steps that we call the 5 R's that was already mentioned before, and they are review and analysis, so understanding what is going on about fire in the territory, risk reduction, so prevention, readiness, response, and recovery. As was also mentioned, wildfire is becoming more frequent and intense. So we need to scale up integrated fire management globally to achieve better results and decrease the damages caused by wildfires. And for that, next slide, please. FAO and UNEP launched in 2023 the Global Fire Management Hub. Nowadays, we have many different partners and to implement the Fire Hub. And the Fire Hub operates through 5 key pillars that were already mentioned in this session today. But just to highlight and emphasize them again, they are knowledge and data sharing, fire risk reduction and early warning, policy development and implementation, capacity building, and supporting wildfire resilient communities. And the idea here is to bring together global, national, and local partners, and with that, help countries to put integrated fire management into practices. This means to have actions on the ground and making really a difference. And with that, we aim to reduce the negative impacts of wildfires on people, on the landscapes, and on climate. Next slide, please. In June of this year, we held the first Fire Hub plenary, gathering over 600 participants from 85 different countries and 250 organizations. And this plenary back in June covered working group topics, post-fire restoration, early warning systems, and policy development. 9 side events highlighted regional perspectives and other emerging issues on fire management. For details, if you are interested in knowing more about that, please visit the FAO website. You can see this website in the slide. And this slide is shared with the organization, so the participants can get the presentation from the organization of this session today. Next slide, please. So talking about the working groups that we launched during the plenary, we launched 3 initial working groups focused on fire data, interoperability, and community-based fire management. These groups are inclusive and welcoming organizations from around the world. The idea is that countries and organizations can join the Fire Hub through the working groups, and the working groups will address specific technical aspects. We are starting with these 3 working groups, but the idea is to have more working groups addressing other aspects of integrated fire management. The idea is to ensure that everyone has a voice in shaping fire management solutions at the global level. And the idea is to have local solutions for global results. Next slide, please. Also, during the Fire Hub plenary, the first Fire Hub plenary in June, we launched the FAO Integrated Fire Management mascot. Her name is Pira. This name was elected by the participants of the plenary And PIRA is engaged in promoting integrated fire management and also gender representation. PIRA is a female tiger, and she symbolizes strength, courage, and the protection of wildlife under threat by wildfires. She also highlights the importance of women's roles in integrated fire management. And again, you can learn more about her accessing the website that is available in this slide. Next, please. As you said before, one of the pillars of the Fire Hub is related to communities, and also one of the key elements of integrated fire management is also communities. So we recognize that communities and indigenous peoples' leadership is vital in integrated fire management. And because of that, we are working on international indigenous-led fire adaptation network. And we had a co-creation dialogue, and this co-creation dialogue was led by indigenous people and not by FAO. And in this co-creation dialogue that happened in Panama 2 weeks ago, we discussed this proposal of the International Indigenous-Led Fire Adaptation Network. This initial gathering brought together over 20 indigenous organizations from the 7 United Nations regions. And during this meeting, an interim working group was appointed to define the network's missions and the network's governance. And with representatives from the network joining the Fire Hub steering group. And ongoing dialogues will further shape this important initiative. So here we are recognizing, is a way to recognize the importance of communities, the importance of indigenous peoples in helping establish best strategies on integrated fire management. The next slide, please. Other global activities that we are conducting under the Fire Hub, one of them is related to an integrated fire management assessment tool to help countries to evaluate how they are dealing with integrated fire management, with fires. The first module of this assessment tool is related to governance, and we expect to have it ready by the end of this year, only this module. Also, we have launched and we will launch new knowledge products and also offer capacity building opportunities. And these initiatives include the FAO voluntary guidelines on integrated fire management that was launched last year during COFO. For this year, we expect to have a community-based fire management publication and also global fire data assessment. FAO's e-learning academy is also will also provide training on topics like fire danger rating system and early warning system, helping countries to build expertise to implement integrated fire management. The next slide, please. Another important point, we have many partners, as I mentioned, and we have an initiative together with the WMO, and this is a task team on fire early warning services. And in this task team, we are working to strengthen fire weather services, supporting national meteorological agencies and to enhance global resilience. We are also working on raising the profile of integrated fire management in international policy spaces, and this is a priority. And the recent milestones related to this raising the profile of fire is included the United Nations General Assembly resolution on disaster risk reduction, recognizing that fire is something to be addressed by governments, and also recognizing the Fire Hub as a way to implement that. We had this year the Kananaskis Wildfire Charter in the same way, and you probably know during COP30 in Belém, Brazil launched this call to action on integrated fire management and wildfire resilience. So these are important milestones. I have been working with fire for 20 years, and this is the first time I'm seeing fire being discussed in so high level environments, and this is very good. Next slide, please. So you can see this map because FAO is also implementing actions on the ground. So in the map, you can see the countries where we are working at this moment. And we are supporting integrated fire management projects at the regional and national scales. And these initiatives span diverse landscapes and communities, demonstrating the global reach and adaptability of integrated fire management. And by sharing best, okay, this is almost my final slide. Thank you. By sharing these best practices and lessons learned, we are helping countries to tailor solutions to wildfire challenges. Next slide, please. And so our work is made possible by because we have a wide network of partners that you can see in this slide, and we acknowledge their importance to the work of the Fire Hub. I may not mention all of them there because we have many regional networks and national agencies also connected with the Fire Hub, as my colleague Israr said before. Next slide, please. So thank you for your attention, and if you want to learn more or get involved, please visit the Fire Hub website, and this is the QR code that you can scan and access the website. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Over to
Dr.
you,
Laraste. Please give applause to her. Thank you very much. So we learned from Dr. Lara about the program of the capacity building from the forest fire management, and there is what they call it Global Fire Management Hub, and there are 5 R's: review and analysis, risk reduction, readiness, response, and recovery. And the most important thing is there are what we call it the mascot for FAO, that what we call it PIRA. I think the same with the batik for Pak Director Thomas. That's for PIRA and the tiger, that the Fire Hub global activities. Right, thank you, Dr. Lara Steele. And now move to Ms. Song Min Kyung, the research official. She wants to present the KFS cooperation project in forest and land fire management to contribute climate change mitigation and potential future cooperation. Time is yours. Thank you.
Thank you for introducing me. Hi, good morning. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Song Min-kyung. I'm working as a research official at the Forest Carbon Research Center of the National Institute of Forest Science. Today I'm giving this presentation on development of forest and land fire management system in South Sumatra, Indonesia. In fact, I'm not an expert on forest fires, but as the only official of the Forest Forest Service here in Belém, so I'm giving this presentation today. I will do my best to convey the efforts of my colleagues with Indonesia as well as possible. Then I will start now. Next slide, please. I'd like to briefly introduce the Korea-Indonesia cooperation and share the progress we have made through this cooperation. This collaboration reflects our shared commitment to climate resilience, forest protection, and meaningful knowledge exchange. As we all know, Indonesia has experienced severe forest and land fires, particularly in 2015 and 2019. Which caused significant impacts on communities ecosystems and the national economy in Indonesia. Sumatra and Kalimantan remain the most vulnerable areas, and South Sumatra has been identified as a priority for intervention. In response, the Korea Forest Service and the Ministry of Forestry launched the Korea-Indonesia joint project on the development of a forest and land fire management system in South Sumatra in 2023. The aim is to prevent the recurrence of large-scale fires through institutional strengthening, training, technology, and improved field operations. Next, please. This cooperation has evolved through structured planning and close coordination. From early discussions and feasibility studies to the signing of the letter of agreement and national approval procedures, the project has advanced step by step through strong dialogue and trust building between both countries. Next, please. Let me now introduce where the project is being implemented. The project is located in Ogan Kamarin Regency in South Sumatra. The objective of this project is developing a model for forest and land fire management system in Indonesia. Next slide, please. Next, let me present the main components of our cooperation project. These components work together as an integrated system, strengthening both ground-level response capabilities and overall operational efficiency. Next, please. Project Activity 1 is about construction of the new forest and land fire management center. It is underway and it is expected to be completed in this month. Covering 756 square meters, the facility will include a 100-person training classroom, a command center, and an exhibition room. Next, please. This center will serve as a hub for training, coordination, information sharing, and public outreach, becoming a model and center of excellence for Manggala Agni in Sumatra and beyond. Next, please. A significant milestone was the groundbreaking ceremony in last year. We symbolized the strong joint commitment of both governments and brought together key stakeholders from national and local institutions. Next, please. This is project activity 2, development of application and ICT systems. The second major activity focuses on digital transformation. We are preparing to enhance Indonesia's forest fire ICT system, either by upgrading the existing system or developing a new integrated platform. The intensive development phase will begin in 2026. Next, please. We also support the development of a firefighting module within the SIPP Karhutla Patrol Information System in collaboration with Professor Imas Skasi Sitanggang and her team. This model enables real-time documentation of firefighting operations and improves reporting accuracy. In addition, the patrol reporting system has been upgraded to ensure faster, more efficient, and paperless prevention work. Next, please. We are also establishing a command center that integrates data, communication, and field operations, enabling real-time coordination and faster decision-making. This center is designed to serve as a model for potential national replication. Next, please. This is Project Activity 3, Capacity Building and Training Strengthening. Human capacity is another core pillar of the project. The Training of Trainers program equips Manggala Agni personnel, especially from Taupus Oki, to train colleagues and local communities in their regions. This approach ensures continuous knowledge transfer and strengthens prevention capacity at the grassroots level. Next, please. Since 2023, 10 training and certification programs have been conducted, involving more than 150 personnel from 10 operational areas, as well as participants from Jambi and Riau. Technical exchange visit to Korea in 2024 further enhanced institutional understanding and provide opportunities to explore advanced fire management practices. Next, please. Finally, the project activity 4, development of forest fire equipment to strengthen field readiness. The project also supports the annual procurement of fire suppression equipment aligned with Indonesian standards. Next, please. So far, more than 970 units of equipment have been delivered to the Ministry of Forestry in Indonesia, including goggles, fire suits, something like that. These equipments directly enhanced mobility, response speed, and frontline safety. Next, please. Next slide, please. So beyond technical work, we have placed a strong emphasis on promoting awareness and sharing progress with the public. The project has gained visibility through participation in the 8th International Wildland Fire Conference, 3 annual forest fire photo contests, and coverage by 6 media outlets with more than 10 articles. A documentary video has also been produced to highlight project achievement and community involvement. These efforts demonstrate transparency, public engagement, and the collaborative spirit of this partnership. Next, please. So our cooperation emphasizes knowledge exchange, technology transfer, and joint capacity building to support Indonesia's efforts in preventing and responding to forest and land fires. Looking ahead, we remain committed to expanding cooperation, sharing best practices, and building sustainable systems that safeguard our forests for the future. Yeah, that's all my presentation, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Ms. Song Min Kyung, for your presentation. She mentioned about 4 project activities, and most of them in the South Sumatra. And that's very nice project for the capacity building in the to tackling the forest fire. Next, we will have Dr. Hideyuki Kubo. He is a chief advisor for Community Movement Program on Forest Prevention in Indonesia, JICA. And his title of presentation will be JICA's program for supporting forest fires management in Indonesia and potential future cooperation. Dr. Hideyuki, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Pak Chris, for your introduction. Good morning, everyone. It's really amazing, full of people from the early morning, isn't it, Pak Israel? Let me introduce myself. I'm Kubo, a JICA expert. I've been working with Manggala Agni very closely in the past 2 years and will continue to do so over the next, let's say, 2 years. So today, I'm going to share with you what we are doing with Manggala Agni. Next, please. Actually, JICA has a long history of collaboration on forest fire management with Ministry of Forestry. We started 96 initially, and at the moment, the 5th project. Next, please. So here is the outline of the current project. Simply saying, what we are trying to achieve is hotspot and burnt area will be decreased in the target areas through community facilitation by Manggala Agni. That's what we are trying to achieve. Next, please. And we are trying to operationalize this idea in 3 provinces, Riau, West Kalimantan, and Central Kalimantan. In one province, as Pak Israel said, there are 4 local fire stations. And each local fire station there are around 60 Manggala Agni. We are targeting all of them to build their capacity to take a community approach of the fire prevention. Next, please. Now, let me share with you about the local station, our local situation. We conducted the baseline survey at 21 villages around peatland in three provinces. Altogether, the interviewees were more than 1,500. The first question we asked, to what extent local people use fire for land preparation? And then the blue bar indicates that their perception before 2015 means before the big fire took place. The red bar indicates after 2016 means after new regulation was introduced. And then green color means the local people who are using the fire for land preparation at the moment. So this figure clearly indicates that the use of fire by local people for land preparation has dramatically decreased over the past 10 years. Next, please. Okay, the next question is, we understand many of the local people already stopped using fire for land preparation. So how do they prepare land for farming at the moment? So that's the question. And here is the answer. So many, the most, use manual, means hand tools for land preparation. But not small people using machines, excavator, particularly for oil palm plantations, and also herbicide. So this indicates an alternative to fire use for land preparation includes not only hand tools, but also machines and herbicide. Next, please. I'm talking about fire use by local people. But if we look at causes of wildfire, it's more serious, triggered by outsiders. Outsiders come to the village and use fire, and that becomes the wildfire. Next, please. So here is the very typical case. You see the left picture, it's a very typical degraded peatlands, and then wildfire often originate here. And one of the critical issues is the land is often owned by people living in a city, not local villagers. And these people living in a city interested in oil palm investment for the business. And then when they decide to start oil palm plantation, they dispatch workers to here to clean the land by using fire. And this fire often becomes the wildfire. And the other causes is triggered by fishermen and hunters coming from outside to this area. You see the photo. He is now heading for the degraded peatland. And then they come here for fishing or hunting birds or animals, and then they throw cigarette. And then also they use fire for barbecue, eating fish or eating bats. And this fire, particularly during season, becomes the wildfire. So we need to address really these people coming from outside. And the one advantage in Indonesia is, in the picture, we don't see any house, but actually there are settlements and communities around these degraded peatlands. So it's possible for the communities to detect these risky people if they are coming to the degraded land. So the challenge is how to institutionalize that monitoring system. Next, please. So here, now I would just want to share our project strategy. One, we support community-based fire management approach of the Ministry of Forestry. We call it in Bahasa MAPD approach. Number two, we apply training of trainer approach. Next, please. The idea of TOT is like this. In each local fire station, there are 60 Manggala Agni, and then in 3 provinces, or to the 12 local fire stations, we already selected candidates of facilitation instructors. it's about 10 to 20 for each station. And then we are providing intensive training for them. And then after 6 months, we are expecting the instructors will be identified, expecting about 5 to 10 for each station. And then we continue to provide intensive training for them. And then the idea is these facilitation instructors will continue to provide coaching support to all Manggala Agni staff to build their facilitation capacities so that they can do the community approach of the fire prevention in the villages. So that's the picture of the project. Next, please. Okay, third strategy, we apply running cycle. In the training, Manggala Agni staff, they go to the field, facilitate the communities, and then after several days of work, we organize a reflection workshop. So this running cycle is one of the main characteristics of the project activities. And the number 4, use of multiple hat concept. It's very particular for Manggala Agni. As per Israel mentioned, the suppression of fire is the main work of the Manggala Agni. And this is very much command type of the work. We need to be disciplined in the field because it's very dangerous work. But on the other hand, the facilitation, community facilitation is a bottom-up. So the modality work is different between command and facilitation. So sometimes Manggala Agni people are confused. And then we applied multiple hats concept. So when they do suppression of fire, they wear a command hat. And when they do the community work, they wear a facilitation hat. So different hats means different professional skills. And then it seems it's working. Next, please. So this is the photo. Manggala Agni staff is doing a facilitation work in the community. Maybe you don't understand who is the Manggala Agni. It's really part of the community already. So when they do the suppression work or patrolling work, they wear formal uniform. But when they do the community work, they just wear ordinary uniform. So it's just part of the community landscape. And then villagers also become more open to communication with Manggala Agni. Next, please. So it's discussion with women's group, talking about village history from their perspectives, and also talking about risky areas of the peatland in the village. Next, please. Men are often busy in the farmland during the daytime, so our meeting is organized in the night after taking bath. Next, please. So here, I just want to share emerging impacts brought about by Manggala Agni's facilitation work. I talk about the 2 cases, both are the initiative of the local villagers facilitated by the Manggala Agni. So this first case is one village from Riau. In this village, there are 17 hamlets, and the leaders of these 17 hamlets agreed to form associations because they thought it's better to negotiate with the landowner of degraded peatlands and allow the villagers to use the land for pineapple cultivation, so that the risk of fire will be reduced. The villages can monitor the land. Next, please. So this is another example from the village Central Kalimantan. So head of village council, she took initiative to establish a new village regulations to enable fund available for local fire group, voluntary group of the villages to enable them take actions for fire prevention. So these are just 2 examples, but what we are expecting is with the Manggala Agni's facilitation work in the community, this kind of spontaneous initiative from the villagers are emerged. So that's we are assuming and designing and providing training for Manggala Agni in order to make this happen. Next, please. So potential for the future growth. So at the moment, we are working in 3 provinces to scaling up CBFMM, community-based fire management approach by Manggala Agni. And then one point is because there are other fire management organizations at the provincial level, like disaster management agency or forest management unit. So Manggala Agni may share and extend their expertise of community facilitation work with them. And of course, scaling up the community-based fire prevention approach with Manggala Agni in other provinces. In terms of the substance, community level digitization would be an option. Actually, Manggala Agni has a digital tool called Sipongi. That's actually a two-way communications. So villagers, Manggala Agni get hotspot data immediately from the system, and then Manggala Agni and villagers also can provide data to the system. So if this system can be really disseminated widely in the village, so more effective, efficient monitoring would be operationalized. Lastly, promoting company community collaboration. I didn't mention so far, but we conducted survey on company community collaboration, and we found it's very effective because the company has more stable fund to support community-based prevention work. But the number of those companies are very, very limited. So we can see the potential to scaling up this company community collaboration. Okay, next please. So this is the photo. Manggala Agni wearing the fire suppression hat. Next. So this is the Manggala Agni wearing the facilitation hat. So these are same people and having multiple professional skills being demonstrated in the field. Okay, that's all my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Please give applause to him. Thank you, Dr. Hideyuki Kubo. He mentioned about the JICA project starting from June 2003 and also 2027, and in 3 provinces, yeah, in Riau, West Kalimantan, and Central Kalimantan. So it gives us an idea about how the capacity building is not only from the Manggala Agni, but also from the villagers only. So they will support how to tackle the forest fire. We still have about 6 minutes. Is there any question from the floor, please? The ladies over there.
Hello. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
And my name is Dolapo John Akiwe from Nigeria. I work with the Ministry of Environment. And in Nigeria, we have the Forestry Department under the Ministry of Environment. And I was so impressed listening to all presentation, including the virtual presentation also. And I was just discussing with my colleague here that do we have a forest fire department or unit within the ministry? And of course, this is a kind of avenue for us to explore this, because looking back to Nigeria, we have prevalence of forest fire, in Nigeria, but we've not really been proactive to this. And I was just telling my colleague that it's time for us to explore how we can set up one in Nigeria. And thank God we have JICA here, we have Korea that can support us, and also the Indonesia in terms of knowledge sharing and peer learning for us to be able to set up this. Because I know within Nigeria, from the Global Forest Watch, we have in 2024, we lost our 253 kilo hectares of land to wildfire. And these are the things, once we are able to share knowledge with Indonesia and with partners like JICA to support the process, then we will be proactive and probably reduce the loss of forest cover within the country. So I'm just trying to do a plea on behalf of my country and on behalf of the Ministry of Environment Nigeria to see how we can partner and see how we can establish this great initiative you have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The second question, you can. Yes, microphone, please. We only have chance for 2 questions.
Thank you very much. I'm a forester. I'm pleased that you have a Ministry of Forest, but we have cooperation in Sudan. I'm Hanadi from Sudan. I'm a forester. So concerning that issue, I need to ask about, do you have any software for assessing or early warning system about how you indicated what is the area of the forest? This is my first question. And for community training and TOT, is it become a volunteers or after you trained or become as staff for that? And is the community have also some indicators how fires will be started and where? This is my question. For JICA, we have many work with you, and do you provide that station to the country, fire station, if we ask for that, or a project to be implemented in specific areas that have a large fires? So do you provide this station, and is it a very advanced station for come up with the forest? These two questions for you, Saya, and for FAO, the lady on the internet, she speak about the stoves. We have of cooking stove. We have some experience very good for high efficiency stove reduction, the amount of fuel, and to save brings that fire. Thank you, Indonesia. I all time come for these valuable presentations and knowledge share beside your gift and hospitality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lady for Sudan. And the last one, the gentleman over there, and that will be closing the discussion. And then after that, I want to have the comment from the panelists. Last question, Pak.
Thank you. The good presentation. So I understand the program of the fire distinguish or protection. But for the fires, maybe the 3 point, the after fires, you know, the burning and come to the land, the dark, and so sunlight to directly heat up, then come to the dry. So this area, the frequently the fires again. So rehabilitation of this after fires, most important for future. Then so another point is what to say, before the fires. So this is the cause of the climate effect. So we understanding that is caused by the IOD, Indian Ocean dipoles. The sea areas that come to the cold, not global warming, come to the cold. Then evapotranspiration is reducing, and so humidity is decreasing. Then come to the fire. So prediction is most important of this IOD. Maybe now, so intensively we are monitoring maybe half years. Now success to the what is the initiative of. So the total system is very important. The protect of the fire. So what do you think of this kind of?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. And to answer the question from lady from Nigeria about the forest, there's the explore the possibility of the cooperation. Pak Israr?
Thank you, Pak Chris, and also for the questions. We are very pleased. We are very welcome if we have like cooperations. Is there any country who would like also to have our experience? We are very welcome for them because we also would like to have like leading by the examples, and we can share our experience because we already have like, let's say 25 years experience in this fire. And I think we can talk later on. And the second one is about the, from Sudan. Thank you also for the questions about the early warning systems. we developed this early warning system since 26 years ago. So it's based on the satellite that we have at the time. So we have like NOAA at the time we
Tabuk.
still have like NOAA 11,
Brigade.
NOAA 12. Now we have NOAA 20. So it's like evolutions that we develop our early warning system. Now we can check in Google. You can googling like Sipongi. So you can have our early warning system. And then the last one for the rehabilitation after fire. I think this is very important. We have one example in Jambi. We call it a Londrang project with the Korea Forest Service, where we can rehabilitate the land about 200 hectares with vegetations. Now the success ratio is about 93%. So I think we will develop this rehabilitation method for the next couple of years in another location. Thank you, Pak Chris.
All right. To answer the third question regarding to the after fire, Pak Kubo, or is there any attention? Yeah, I think that's covered with all of the program in JICA. There's 3 parts, and that's also include the after fire program.
Okay, thank you for your comment. Actually, in terms of the ecosystem regenerations, so we are not working on that aspect, but actually the perspective is different in the sense that the unprotected land is always prone to the fire. So that the challenge is to convert unproductive land or open vacant land to productive land. So after fire took place, how to recover that's the degraded land into the productive land. That's the challenge. And one issue is, as I told before, the ownership of the land issue. So we need to address that. And once that is solved, and then the various productions can be introduced. And then if we're talking about the peatland, the products can be introduced. It's limited, like pineapple or nangka. What's nangka? Dragon fruits. But they are actually a good benefit for local people. So once having that plants, and then if we incorporate the ecological recovery perspective in that, I think we can support more comprehensive ecosystem regeneration, including economic production on the degraded land. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry for about the timing constraint. So I just want to conclude that this commitment for Manggala Agni, the forest fire ranger, is supported by partners across the world, demonstrates that capacity building is not only a national priority, but a global responsibility. The insights shared today strengthen our networks, reinforce cooperation, and open new pathways for joint action to reduce forest fire risk and greenhouse gas emission. Indonesia remains ready to lead, to learn, and to work hand in hand with all partners toward a more resilient future. Thank you very much for coming, and give applause to us all, and back to you.
Thank you, Pak Chris. Hopefully this discussion have sparked fire, only allowed in this room, not in our forest, and connect all the parties to keep on strengthening the capacity building of Indonesia Manggala Agni as the frontliner in managing wildfire and protecting our forests. Once again, please send a huge round of applause for the moderator and speakers.